how to shoot in Blacktop Hoops VR. Now, in the last video, I went over the very basics. I since then switched my wrist angle. It is now -25. I do recommend negative wrist angles as it allows you to flick your wrist more, alright? Also, main dribble hand. I did not even know this was a thing. For some reason, my main dribble hand was on my left hand. I have no idea why, but it just was. So you want to switch that to your dominant hand, obviously. Now, how you shoot and your shooting form mainly depends on your wrist angle, right? But here's how I shoot. Now, I keep the ball like almost over your head. I see a lot of people like shooting from down here, or like they're shooting before they reach the top of their jump. In order to shoot good, you gotta release the ball right at the peak of your jump. Whether that be hop jumping or normal jumping, you want to release the ball right at the peak of your jump, and you gotta keep that flick in there. Let me do it with one hand so it's easier to see. Alright, like that. But you want your other hand with you. And it's that simple. Problem I see people having the most is rushing their shots too much. They're mistiming it. You want to release the ball at the peak of your jump, or else it just won't look pretty. Just won't look good for you. Now, I am one of the best shooters in this game. There's no dang question about it. I'm one of the best shooters, so I'm not saying this out of like inexperience. This is stuff that I think it should really help you with your shot. But again, you really want that flick in there. Like that flick is literally makes or breaks your shot, right? Practice flicking. I see people overshooting it way too much. They're putting way too much juice in it, as I say, way too much juice. You want to practice like not shooting it very hard. Because if you overshoot it, it's just gonna hit the back of the rim way too often. Like I even have a problem with that. The back of the rim is deadly, or the sides of the rim, it's just gonna pop right out, alright? So you really need to work on your power. And sometimes your shot's just inconsistent. It won't be going in all the time. Sometimes we just have bad shooting days, but it is all about the flick of the wrist and the power you put into that flick. Flick, it's fire, bruh. You keep talking about how flicking is the most important step to making your shots, but you're not telling me how to flick. Well, here you go. First off, you want your ball, your palm of your hand to be facing straight up towards the dang sky. Now, when you jump and shoot, you want your palm to be facing down towards the dang ground. So palm up, palm down. Palm up, palm down. Palm up, palm down. Palm up, palm down. Alright? At the height of your jump, you want your wrist to be, your palm of your hand to be facing down. So at the height of your jump, your palm should be down already, and you should release the ball. You should release the ball basically when your palm is already towards the ground. Basically, or it's in the process of moving towards the ground. I covered this a little bit in my first video, and nothing's really changed. You want to dribble behind the back. It makes it the hardest to steal. And you want to be looking up. The biggest mistake I see is people looking down when they're dribbling. You don't want to do that. You really don't. Because when you're looking up, you know where the backboard is. You know where the rim is. You know where your teammates are. Because your teammate could be wide open, and you won't even be able to know if you're looking down at where you're dribbling. But basically what I'm saying is you want to look up when you're dribbling. You want to practice knowing where the ball is, because basically all dribbling is moving your hands back and forth, right? But that's pretty much dribbling very quickly. That was dribbling. It's very simple, moving your hands back and forth, and that's about it for dribbling.